on my side, so we were a little late. And I'm here with Pepper. It's Pepper. It's Pepper.
Hi.
Pepper. Um, I always think that if I got like a pepper shaker and just did this, it'd be funny because I'm always on the top part of this thing. So,
I
anyways,
don't I don't know on how I feel about that or
right?
how
You're
I'm
like, I
supposed
don't
to
know
take
if I
that.
find that as funny as you would, and I'm like, yeah, but I would find it funny, and that's the important part.
I
This,
mean,
this is
I
the
I
Chris
can see
Rock
why
school
you
of making comedy, apparently.
well, I'm not going to sit there and slap you if that's the case, but um but uh no, like when I was a kid growing up, like my me and my sister, like we got a ton of jokes like that were
Sure,
thrown our way.
you are.
So, a lot of people thought her nickname was Salt.
Yeah, actually, my sister got the same abuse. They kept saying, "Are you girl?" They thought they were clever.
Yeah. I
They thought
mean,
they were clever.
it's
And
not
and
that
and to some degree, I take a little bit of liberty with making fun of other people's names for that reason,
yeah.
which I probably shouldn't.
Like I
But but I have to
mean,
say though, if I were to take a salt shaker and do that, then we'd have a different problem because then you'd be under assault.
yeah,
And there was no one here to admire that one. That one was a good one. I'm just
yeah,
saying that was a good one.
that was actually a good one. That truly was a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
You're like,
That was a zinger.
that was all we got there. That's all we got. Well, at least it distracted from, your name, which, that's
Yeah.
a plus. Okay. On that note,
Actually, no. Surprisingly enough, good morning.
good
Surprisingly enough, I've actually gotten
morning.
a professional signature by one of the people that was at like one of the conventions,
Hmm.
and I got to talk to her and everything like that. And she basically signed it like I was assaulted by a pepper.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it could be
I thought
fun.
it was cute because of who she was and everything like that. So,
Yeah, as opposed to me when I say, you don't find me cute. So there's that. Always that, there's a thing.
well, I mean, it's not that I don't find you cute, guy. It's that you're married. You've been
That's true. We
reminding me
just went
that
through this
all this time.
right this morning. We were talking about how I can't marry you. I'm already married. And neither
Right,
one of us are to pay
exactly.
me. I mean, it's all those things. Hey,
And to
Colton,
be
why are
fair,
you
I
not
like your wife.
joining this? I mean, think about what you could get involved in if you were on the show with us this morning. Think about all the, ways this could go south. Also, Colton, while you're here, do you have any idea what might cause OBS to keep forgetting my camera? It's extraordinarily irritating. I'm sure something else in my system is taking camera, but every morning now, it used to happen intermittently, because you just woke up. It used to happen intermittently, but now it's happening all the time. Like, I start the computer up every morning and OBS, yeah, like it'll start OBS and it'll bring the scene up with no camera. And if you click on the camera, it says there's no camera here. What's your problem? So I have to unplug the camera from the USB port and plug it back into the USB port so my computer system will go, "Oh, you mean that camera?" And I have to do this now every morning. But the problem is, see how nice I look this morning with the nice lighting behind me and everything looks really nice? That's by turning a couple of the settings down. Otherwise, I look all washed out and super lit. And so I have to go through every morning now and plug it in, then open the camera settings, then set this and this and this and this, and click this button and click that button. And it's like getting really old. Nothing happens in between shows. So it's a thing. So if you know anything about OBS that might cause that. Anyway, also, I got a type cover for my new Surface. And look at the pen goes, ain't that cute? I know it's all technological now. So my new Surface It's pretty cool. And actually, last night I was drawing with it, and I actually want to say that it might be slightly nicer than this tablet. It has a little bit more of a ginger feel. It's very nice and light. The pen does.
It has the feel of a ginger.
It has the feel
What
of
are
a.
you doing to people over there, guy?
Hey, don't dig up my backyard. You'll be fine,
Don't dig under the tomatoes, is what you're
right?
saying.
Don't dig under the tomatoes, and you're good.
And don't dig up, folks. Don't dig up his prize-winning roses either.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I've been working on Grogu because Grogu would sell well, and my
Mm.
wife took one look at it and said it's off kilter. So I've got to kilter it again. So that's today's job is to kilter. That was weird.
What do you
Or
mean up kilter?
I don't know. Look at it
I
and
mean
tell me if
the angle looks like he's like the way that you want it to. Like he looks like he's reaching for something.
yep, he's
I
reaching for
think
the
the
asteroid.
Yeah, I think what my only problem with my eyesight is the angle that you have the trail of the ball thing.
Okay.
Like if he's trying to reach for it, wouldn't it be in the same trajectory of his hand?
Well, it's in the same trajectory as the ship, which is this part here.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
mean, he's not quite caught up to it.
Okay.
Oh, so Twitch is apparently cutting out on us. That's kind of neat.
Mm,
Um, so the idea is his hand isn't quite ready to catch this little asteroid. So
okay.
he's tilting the ship just a little bit this way to get it to head towards the ball so he can get the ball, which is an asteroid.
Donald.
Good morning, starting with a Gilligan joke.
You know what's really funny is my mom's name is Mary Ann, so every single time I watch that show,
It was a thing. It was a thing.
I
Okay,
was
so
like, when I was really little, I think I asked my mom, "Why don't you dress like that?"
right, I could see that. That would be entertaining. Anyway, so I figured I would do a Grogu because that the cute sells. So cute cells sell.
Cute cells and sex cells,
Yep.
nothing in between. Which stinks.
But like I said, my wife seems to think that it's off kilter. So we'll kilter it here in a second. First, I'll turn off everything in the background and turn off our sphere because it's not ready yet. And I'll flatten this, which is not something I usually do. I feel like I won't get it right if I don't do this. So we'll tilt Grogu so that he's back to level. And I'll betcha I can see exactly what she's talking about. Yeah, I can see it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can see what she's talking about. My wife, she are smart. She knows what she's doing. She's also lived with me for many years now. And the first person who usually hits my artwork is her. So makes some sense that she says don't use the tail. The tail fin of the spaceship just makes it look like it's coming out of his head like he's wearing a weird hat. So the tail goes away first. It's fine.
Honestly, I was assuming that the black line was the trail
Uh-huh.
of the
This is
ship.
the trail right there, but this is the tail fin.
I almost I like a good tail fin blur, like a not tail fin blur, like a back of the ship blur,
Yeah, like
like
a depth of
anyone
field.
else.
You mean
Um,
you mean depth
but
of field.
I think that position looks a little bit weird now without the tail fin.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I'll definitely take a look. Okay, so anybody ready to start liquefying?
You're wanting to liquefy baby Garu?
Grogu? Yeah.
Grogu?
Uh-oh. She's opening and closing the door. Once I figure out how to do it, yeah. We've
Once
never
you figure out on how to open and close the door, geez, guy, I thought you knew.
No, I it's really way too. I'm too young. Yeah, like a little Y tail fin in the background might be also good.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, one of the other things we can do, because I kind of made this like a 50s car, is
Mm-hmm.
put like the 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 tail fins of like that, like a
Ooh, that actually looks cool. I like that.
right, kind of give it the 50s car-esque feel. I think so too.
Yeah.
We want.
You know what though, and also at
Am
the
I on the
same
wrong
time,
layer?
you
I'm on
could
the wrong layer.
add an additional, if you wanted to, you could add an additional like trail light, because on those you have those
Mhm.
lights, and so like the light would kind of like trail off of them too. If you
I agree.
if you were truly doing like 1950s car.
Right. I'm kind of get that going there. Just kind of go in here and just kind of clean it up a little. You're right. There'd be a little divot to the back, like so. There we go. Kind of like that. There we go. Do work like working digital though.
I'm
Uh-oh.
actually working digitally this morning as well.
Yeah. You on your iPad?
Yep.
That's the only problem I have with this new Surface. Don't know how to broadcast it.
There is a way, you just have to use OBS, but I'm finding it a little bit difficult for my iPad. Since you have a product that is more Windows based, you may actually have better luck than me.
Yeah. There we go. We'll imply that there's another fin on the other side right behind him.
Mm, sounds good.
All right.
You
I don't
know
remember.
what it reminds me of?
Hmm.
Stitch's car.
Yeah, that's the entire intention. It was
Mhm.
supposed to be the Stitch car from the red Stitch car that he stole. In a way. Or at least not supposed to be so much as reminiscent of.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's figure out how to get this to work so that it doesn't look so weird.
Too late.
Yeah. Yeah. If it gets too far beyond repairable, then we just have to kill it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not like one of those things of while you're at the convention, someone from Disney comes up and goes, "That's too much like our property. You can't sell it."
I've heard a lot of rumors of people doing that or that happening, but I've never actually seen it occur. So that
I've
doesn't mean it
actually
doesn't.
seen I've actually seen people set up, get everything done, and then they're handed the notice and they have to take it all down.
I've never seen that, so I mean that's not to say that it won't, but who knows?
The only time I see it is usually at bigger conventions
Yeah.
like Denver Comic Con. San Diego Comic Con is another one that sometimes it happens. Um, and sometimes people just go right on and say, "It's selling. I'm selling it. I don't care. I'll face the consequences." You know. Um, but like there have been many people threatened with that. So
Oh, I know that they've been threatened. I just have never seen it. That's all.
yeah, because Funimation did it. According to Colton, he's like was at WasabiCon. Funimation did it,
Oh, that's right. They did do that.
which I find ironic and hysterical because they lease their properties. They don't own them. They just have rights to use them in the United States. So
Yep. Well, and we have some solid, strict rules about how that works in our artist alley too at NDK because of things like that. Right. It's probably not quite as nefarious as that sounds. They probably had a rep there because we have to go through and check our artist alley too when Funimation's with us for the same reason. But we were warned ahead of time by Wasabi. You know, like as in we didn't know that that was going to be a thing until it happened at Wasabi, and then we were like, oh crap! So we went and when we have yeah, but I'm just saying that I'll bet you what happened was Friday night the rep went and called home and said, you know, hey, what should I do? And they said, go do something about it or whatever. Unless you're saying you talked to the rep and the rep was like, yeah, I let everybody set up and then I screwed them over.
right.
You know, but I can't imagine that that was what really happened. I'll bet you there was like a,
Well, I know one person. Once Star Wars was purchased by Disney, they were at I think San Diego Comic Con or Denver Comic Con, one of the bigger conventions.
uh-huh.
He was all set up, ready to go, and then they served him the paper for cease and desist on selling the merchandise.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, technically they have every right.
yeah,
And I mean, they've got every right to do it. And I'm not complaining that they, you know, shouldn't have a right to do that. I'm
yeah.
just saying that first of all, I tried selling my own stuff. Yeah, that's our rule is you can't use the logos and you can't say who they are on there. Like I can't write Grogu up here. I can't say Grogu. Wow, that's a scary pen. Um And that's where everybody really pretty much is. So
which I don't mind. I really don't mind that.
no, and like I can sell Pikachu versus Stitch because it's yeah, they have the right.
Yeah.
It's not to say that people don't power trip. But it's also very gauche, right? So I mean, like, if someone came to NDK and did that, they probably would not be invited back because that would be mistreating our con chair, and she doesn't really go for that. She's Southern, and that's a slight on her, and she's not going to take that kindly, you know,
Hmm.
because she's Southern, and that's you don't come into her con and then wait until it's really screwed up to until everybody's set up to go in there and do that, unless it was an accident. If it was an accident, then she'd understand it. If they came in and said, "Oh man, just heard from corporate, we can't allow these things in there," and then she'd be like, "Yeah, that's cool, we'll fix it." But if they came in and they're like, "Yeah, we've been waiting for them to set up, and now we're going to screw them all over so that they'll all complain to you for the next 6 months," she'd be like, "That's really gauche."
Yeah.
She wouldn't invite them back. That rep would never come back again. It's all about politeness. So people power tripping, I do know that people power trip, but there's a expectation of politeness in the industry at the moment. And that may, who knows, may lax, but it doesn't lax at NDK right now. If nothing else, two of the directors are Southern because I'm a Southern director and she's a Southern director. And so we both sort of expect a certain level of professionalism and, you know, stuff like that. We don't put up with that crap very well.
Yeah. People are finding out that I do not put up with certain things
Yeah. I mean,
very
it's
well.
it's an expectation. Like, it's I don't expect, but even when you like make insulting jokes, there's a certain amount of no, you know me before you make insulting jokes. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I know you well enough to know that I could probably make a joke about you
sure,
in a form of a roast.
right?
Would I basically be able to?
But I mean, even like earlier when I was making the pepper joke,
Oh
I
yeah,
only make that because I know pepper is your chosen name
yeah.
and not your given name. I wouldn't make fun of your given name. I think this is something we were also talking about the Oscars and the infamous slap that was heard all around the world. Um, but I think that that's the same thing. Is there's a line, you never make fun of. Like I would never make fun of homosexuality because that's not a choice. You can't
Right.
make that choice. So you can't choose that, contrary to what people seem to believe. Um, but I might make fun of you and Bill having some kind of domestic thing because my wife and I have a domestic thing too. The same domestic thing goes on over here. Therefore, it's sort of a sideways joke of, haha, don't we all hate it when our respective others lose the knives or something? I don't know. I'm making those up.
Well, for me, um, it's not like that. It's more or less like, okay, say I'm like sitting here talking to you, then all of a sudden, like, you say something to me like that, I'm just like, huh? Like, you know me well enough to know that I'd be upset with it. Why did you say that?
Why did you say it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the odds of me saying something out of turn that weren't intended to be a joke, what came out sounding like a bad joke, are actually much higher. Because
yeah,
of my stupid ADD, it is much more likely for me to say something that I think is clever and then, no, that wasn't clever or funny. You know, that has
yeah.
happened more than once in my life. It's a sad but true statement. So I appreciate that your first response would be, "You sure you meant to say that?" Not, "That's it.
Yeah.
We're no longer friends." I appreciate that.
Well,
As
and
being an ADDer and knowing that I would likely say something out of turn by accident, you know.
well, and the thing is like I I recently just have got I recently have been having some issues with certain types of people.
Uh-huh.
Um, Not to say that I can't get along with everyone, but there definitely is a learning curve for me right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to one particular person that is like kind of like I have to work with kind of deal.
It's Colton. We're all talking about Colton, aren't we? Because I have a
No,
problem.
I'm not talking about Colton. Colton's great. Colton's fine. Colton's, he's
Yeah,
sunshine.
Colton's watching. That's why I had to say it. See, now that's the kind of jokes I like to tell. Ones that are obviously not true. It's obviously not true that we would we don't have a problem with Colton, but it's funny, you know. And it's even funnier when they play back, like Colton with
Like right now.
yeah, like Colton saying I'm terrible, right? Because that's better because it means he knows that I'm just messing with him, and there's nothing really going on there. It's a
Yeah.
little bit worse though when I fire one of those off, and then it's like the person's like, "You don't like me," and I'm like, "Oh crap, that's just not what I meant." It's like, yeah. Colton knows. Colton knows what's up. No, too big. Get the brush down to something reasonable, guys. Yeah, and sometimes there are just personality conflicts, and there's nothing you can do. You know.
Well, no, I'm currently like on a team type deal, and they want us to work as a team, and I'm struggling because like I really want to enjoy being on a team with a certain person, but this person doesn't seem to want to enjoy being on a team with me or anyone else. And it's like kind of like killing me because like I want us all to just like get along and be on the team together and like be okay with it, but apparently no. That can't
Well, and it's weird. Like there are things where we just have conflicts. I'm having a major conflict right now with a certain individual that you and I both work with.
happen.
And he stopped contacting me for his projects, his card projects. And I suspect it's because he has now decided I am difficult to work with. But the point that I was trying to get through to him that he missed was that he puts a lot of draconian language in his work things. Even you've complained about it, where do this way or you will be fired. Do this way or you will be fired. And it's like, look, it's okay. And this time it was, I need to see a rough sketch and then a blue line and then a a rough line and then and I'm like, I don't do things that way. I use maquettes, which has a step that it cuts out like half those steps.
Hmm.
So I was like, here's the direct thing. And he's like, because he approved the sketch. And I was like, okay. So then I went ahead and built a maquette and rigged rigged the scene, and I figured one extra step for him is not a bad deal. You know what I mean? Because it's worth it. In the case of this particular person, I built the maquette and rigged everything, and then he was like, "Why did you do that? I told you not to do that. You were supposed to, you know, ink the sketch." And I'm like, "The sketch is cattywampus," you know.
Yeah, it's
And it was like, so we got into an
well, and
argument about it, and then he dismissed me, so to speak, and so we don't contact anymore, and I'm off that project, and that's sad, and I'm annoyed, and it makes me aggravated because I've been with that project since the beginning.
well,
And
I'm I'll be realistic. Hearing that kind of proved something to me of what I was seeing. So
yep, you know who we're talking about, so we don't have to bring it
um,
up because I really feel like it's just a personality conflict. It's not. It's he's not doing anything wrong, and you know, it's not like he's a bad guy. He's actually a really nice, sweet guy. But I think he's got too much manager in his brain and not enough working with people who are weird. Um, I mean, you know, because like my designs and the way I've done things with maquettes has worked perfectly for him since we started this project. I was open about using maquettes to begin with. I was, you know, open about how because I feel uncomfortable about it. And so, you know, he had no issue. He's like, however you can do it, that's the fastest possible way. I'm all about it. And I'm like, cool.
yeah, he told me the same thing. He told me the same thing, and
He's like, do
like,
it as fast as possible. And I'm like, okay. And then this
but
happened. And it was like, well, I can't do it fast if you're going to make me add 6 steps so that you can check every inch of the way to make sure we're doing it the right way. I can't do that way. I mean, I can't make it fast. It's not going to be fast. You're going to slow me all the way back down.
there's also something else that is problematic um, with that game. So
You know,
with that project, for me, and
was it that you like the other guy?
no, it's how should I say this?
Yeah. How do we say this without implementing or implementing without
Okay, so
indicting?
I've been told like not to like to just shut up. They get people get that I'm woke. Got it. But this game takes that to a whole nother the what we're talking about. It takes that to a whole nother level.
They're woke?
Too woke.
Oh, I don't know. I actually thought it was kind of clever how they were doing it.
To be realistic, it
Randomly generating. I thought that was clever.
randomly generating everything is sounds good in theory. Yes. In theory.
Okay.
Yes, Colton. Why do you think they call me doctor?
As your name is Pepper. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you're more conservative than me. I mean, not that that's bad, just an
Well,
observation.
no, what I mean by that is like I try to see people from their perspective. I try to communicate with people if they have an issue, and if it's something I can help with, I try to help with it. If it's something I don't understand, I ask questions. You
Wow.
know, I try to do all of that. Um that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Like, and I accept pretty much almost everyone except for like rude people essentially.
Like you
Um
said, Southern. Just
yeah.
like you said. You don't
Um
deal with rude very well. You don't
yeah.
put up with it.
Um you know, I it is what it is. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not.
I, I I actually did not want to get into a discussion about woke with you.
No, well, and the only reason why I bring it up is you brought up this you brought up a particular
Yeah,
game
no,
before.
I know. It's
And
like I said, that wasn't my intention when I brought
yeah,
it.
and it's not that, it's like you're voicing a concern,
Yeah,
and
I'm
stuff like
worried
that.
'cause I like the guy. I
And
like.
I like them too, and I am worried about this possibly hurting their game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what though? At the end of the day, it's not my decision,
No, it's not. Nor is it.
and so I'm just gonna have to roll with it, like, and see what comes of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I like some of their systems that they did. They did some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
And actually, I do the same thing now. Not now. I did the same thing before. It's one of the things that actually made me kind of like them in this instance. Um, so when I play role playing games, I have a random character generator that randomly generates race and and stuff like that based on the census of the United States. They did theirs based on the census of the world, so their numbers are different. They had to back up somewhere along the line because they ended up with weird numbers. Because of course, if you do things based on the census of the world, not the United States, then you end up with um, the United States is an interesting. So it's kind of one of those things. The problem is if you use the United States as your or the world as your basis, you end up with 75% of your people being Asian, right? Because the odds are you'll be born in China or India. So somebody was trying to get into a trash can. I won't name any names, but
oh shoot,
so
Bill, trash, trash.
meow,
Okay, so Bill took the
meow.
trash out this morning. Yay. Okay.
Cat got it. George, who puts up with just about everything, I don't like sitting here and doing this. He gets scritches, and then I'm just holding him long enough that he forgets he was getting into the trash. And somebody was getting into the trash, and they won't name any names, but he's floofy and black. And a trouble child. Oh, but he likes having his chin scratched. There we go.
Which is going to be kind of funny because I personally, at the event that we're both going to be at this upcoming weekend, have to explain to the people that we were talking about earlier why I can't do their game anymore.
Can't do their game anymore, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the woke, or because of something else.
No, my contractual obligation of what I'm working on right now.
Oh wow! As a freelancer, you shouldn't. That should be
They
unacceptable.
hired me on full time.
Oh well, congratulations!
Yeah,
You're no longer a freelancer.
exactly.
You can join us, Colton. You know we're here. We're here, bro.
You know where the link is.
Yeah, I reposted the link recently because of that. I don't know if that crew will be at Wicked West.
Yes, they will.
Okay, that's all right. I don't need to bring it up. If they don't need me, they don't need me, and I'm okay with that.
That's
And
fine.
all
It's their. You know what? It's their decision. It's not yours. It's theirs.
mm-hmm.
Just remember that.
Right. We had some trash talk we can improve on today. Garbage is the grunge of 2022. That's funny. I thought they were grunge in the 1990s. What do I know? That group gave me endless jokes. I swear. I had more entertainment out of Garbage than I did any other rock group. It was the bestest group ever. Because I could make endless garbage jokes. This song is garbage. Oh, man.
So, you say this, but I grew up hearing this. Like,
I know.
I know exactly
But I
who
mean,
you're talking about
we're talking about
because
the group called Garbage.
they're a group called Garbage.
endless entertainment. They gave me endless entertainment.
I mean, I always made fun of their joke that started, "I'm only happy when it rains.
Right?
I only feel calm when I'm constipated." Like, I used to make fun of that joke, that song all the time. And the fact that they sung it and their band was called Garbage, like, made it even better.
Exactly.
Oh, apparently the East Coast is having some problems with hammerhead worms.
And
Still,
hammerhead sharks with hammerhead worms.
I don't know if they have hammerhead worms and hammerhead sharks, but I know that hammerhead worms are poisonous.
Or the East Coast also got invaded by that Joseph spider.
Yeah.
Something I dealt with in Japan a lot. Ugh. I mean, not that they're harmless, but they were cute and somewhat terrifying.
I mean, I like spiders, so why
I
not?
like spiders better than bugs. At
Yeah.
least spiders make it emotional with me. Like, I don't have an emotional response to spiders. I have an emotional, unreasonable response to bugs. Never goes well. My wife fired off the Roomba. I can hear it
Mm.
downstairs. It runs into everything. It's very cute. The kid calls it the boomerang. Mostly referring to all the things it runs into and makes a booming noise. Because it keeps running into stuff. So that's a thing. Colton says he's going to join us here in a minute, which is cool. Haven't seen Brent. Right? Oscar the Grouch. Oh,
Oscar
Brent's
the Grouch had it right, man. Live in a trash can and bark at people.
We're just saying. The older we get, there we go. That looks cool. I wonder if they ever had garbage on Sesame Street.
None of their songs were kid friendly enough, or
No.
could become kid friendly enough. Like Cyndi Lauper's been on there several times, and they always used like songs that could easily be translated to kids. Um,
Well, yeah, but I mean,
they choose a lot of their their musicians that go on there.
yep.
So I don't see them having very many songs. Like I don't think
Colton's
that
trying
you
to-
would want. I don't think you would want them to be influencing your children that young.
I don't want Colton influencing our children that young either. Oh, hi, Colton. We're talking about Sesame Street, but you joined in at the right time. So you don't have any audio yet. So, it's one of those things. And it's one of those things. Just talking about that. You still don't have audio.
That fix it?
There we go. Now we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yep. All right. Yep. So we were just talking about Garbage, the group, and wondering whether Garbage had ever visited Sesame Street. Because it'd be funny to have Oscar the Grouch dealing with it. So we were like, that was particularly funny in our book, but then you joined, and I was like, yeah, or just when that was when Pepper was talking about how we don't probably want Garbage to influence our children. And it was like, well,
apparently you just missed Pepper's joke too, so
yeah. And I knew that you probably missed all.
Ever since you guys were talking about Garbage, I literally have had that song literally rolling through my head this whole time. I'm like, God damn it.
Right?
Which one? The I'm only happy when it rains one? Don't we feel calm when I'm constipated?
Yep.
Yeah, group's Garbage.
By the way, to answer your question, Donald, Gina was studying to become a vet, and she goes down into the trash can with Oscar. On episode 3787.
Oh, yeah.
Are you looking that up right now, or you actually know that by heart?
No, I looked it up.
Oh, okay. I was like,
you have to.
How do you know 3,000? What the? I didn't know you were a big fan.
It's kind of like that's Trek level. That's a Trekkie level. So
yeah, that's
I'm
what I
glad
was like.
you
Wow,
were
that's
looking
like
it up.
super fan.
Otherwise, I'd have been really freaked out. All right, feel like that's better. I've gotten all of the kind of the wonkiness out now. He doesn't look as wonky.
Oh, I should probably
we agree.
Do
we think he looks?
This one? Nope, that one.
Nope. Now
there it is. Like, nope. Yes.
I just got through watching that entire series.
Yeah, but look at the building Colton's got.
Oh, no, that's exactly why I'm saying it. Like, I don't know if you've gone back and watched the Jetsons, but I did actually find out George Jetson was born in 2012.
I thought he was born in 2022.
No, he was born in 2012.
Well, because there was a big deal about him being born this year.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so I'm not wrong. This does look like it's from the Jetsons. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I'm making that joke.
It does. But the Jetsons...
I asked my friends. I was like, oh, I'm doing this thing and because we're doing a prompt for this club at school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a space diners. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll make it like a spacey thing. And I was like, this is my idea. And I was like, am I the only one that feels like it's like the Jetsons? And nobody said anything. And I was like,
they all just looked at you like you were an alien.
Okay.
I was going to look at you like you were an alien.
Yeah, I was like, am I old? Like, what the fuck?
Right?
So
I went back to college in my 30s. That was entertainment for that very reason.
It's weird. I'm not going to lie. That's the one thing that gets a little weird.
Yeah.
Looking like you're in your...
Like, there's some really cool kids I've talked to. I'm like, God damn, you're going to go far. If you do the right steps, you can really do this. And then I realized that I have 10 years on them. I'm like, oh.
Right.
So,
you're like,
so anyways, getting back to what I was saying about the Jetsons. So George Jetson makes an offhanded comment going, I was born, blah, blah, blah. And then there's another episode where he's talking to Elroy about the good old days where they used tools back before they had machines doing it for them.
Okay. Still not telling me why
Yeah.
it was 2012 and not 2022.
They said it because George says this isn't. He's recalling to his childhood, and he goes, "It's blah blah blah, not 2012."
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said it's the modern age, not 2012 when I was a kid.
Mm.
You know,
Nice.
but also at the same time, his grandfather is like 80 something years old, and he actually makes references to early 2000s as well. And he's 80. Meanwhile, George Jetson's grandfather could literally run circles around every single person in the show, and he's 83 or 84 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I hope I'm George Jetson's father when I'm that old. Grandfather, not father.
Wow.
And there you go. A little bit of Jetsons history. You never know what you'll get in this show.
Although I do...
There was so much stuff I wanted to say while you guys were talking earlier about people, and I was like, oh, I know this feeling.
Yeah, and now we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Jetsons, so now you're stuck.
I know.
Like, damn it, I had so much to say about the topic earlier.
No, I had a lot to say earlier, and I was just like, I'm still waking up. This coffee's not kicking in fast enough, and I really have a lot to say right now. Good thing I'm not on mic.
Right? Oh, you mean you had things that probably shouldn't have been said.
Yeah, probably.
I follow that one. I've been down that road.
No, I think I already know exactly who you guys were talking about. That's why I was like, huh, all right.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't want to speak ill because I think it's just a conflict.
I mean, in that sense, though, I mean, for both of you specifically, like, you don't have to really speak ill of it anyways. It's not really... It's their choice, because it's technically their property still, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
and I admire what they're doing, and I admire how they're doing it, and I think it's kind of clever, and it's cute, and it's new, and it's unique, and it's kind of a bummer that that's just not something we do anymore, you know?
How it's going, yeah.
It's not it's kind of like I have a friend whom was super, super conservative, and every time she'd post something, I'd be like, did you even look this up? Because, I mean, it took me 30 seconds to find out that what you're posting is wrong. And then she kept doing you're just saying that because you're a liberal. And I'm like, no, I'm saying that because I looked it up.
I love
that
those
didn't
people.
happen. You know, and there's nothing that happened like that. This isn't a matter of liberal or conservative. It's a matter of that didn't occur. And she blocked me. And I'm like, well, you know, and I was like, well, okay, but I was actually like watching her family, you know, and kind of...
That's what I'm kind of going for, Donald.
You know, kind of going for things.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I got sidetracked by what you said. But yeah, I mean, she's got a cool daughter who is about the age of my niece.
Oh, I was about to say, guy, you're married.
Yeah, I know.
Stop going after
about the age of my niece makes it even worse.
You won't go out with Pepper because he's married, but you're married.
I know, right? We were just saying that.
Jeez.
But her daughter already has like a pilot's license, and she had her pilot's license before she had her driver's license. So I mean, like that kind of really high speed, low drag. She's in Civil Air Patrol and
high speed, low drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You know, and it was cool watching her grow up. You know what I mean? Like I was enjoying watching the stories and reports about her growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not going to, because we were apparently political enemies, and I will never hear about her kid ever again. And it's like, well, that's nice, you know. And it was all because
it was all because of a mouse.
It was all because of a mouse.
What? What?
Your what hurts?
What?
Mom?
Oh,
I did nothing. I
Right.
say nothing.
Anyway, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating that these things are occurring.
Right.
So,
No, I get that.
I just I don't know. I just at this point, like in my life, I'm just like, all right, I'm done with this.
yeah, the political crap is starting to really bother me, especially since I have recently been watching various documentaries on how social media works.
Mhm.
And
How's
have
that going?
suddenly come to the realization that social media is nobody's at the steering wheel of social media. And so it's running on autopilot, and whoever pays the most gets the loudest speaker. And it doesn't matter who that is.
Huh.
And um so you could be a white supremacist group, and that's you get the power, you get the speaker because you paid the most. Doesn't
Right.
matter what you are. And I know all three of us have done classes
We're all what?
marketing classes, and we have all.
I mean, I did all my own.
I
So
did
but
marketing
you should
classes as
still,
well.
but you know that there are ways to make people buy their own shoes in
Oh, hell
marketing.
yeah.
I can word something one way, or form it a certain way that'll make you do things against your will.
Did you watch that video? There's that one that's about marketing and advertising or whatever. It's the lady's like, oh, this is blah blah, and like pretty much makes everybody watch like a slaughterhouse becoming like a retirement home.
um Interesting. No,
It pops up on my
actually,
Facebook every year because I post it all the time and I love it.
right. Actually, where I got it from was Desmond Morris. Are you familiar with Desmond Morris?
That name sounds
um
familiar.
he wrote a book in the 60s called The Naked Ape, and it
Okay.
was an analysis of humans as if he were an anthropologist studying humans remotely, like as if he were sitting sitting around in now we're in the area watching the humans and their mating cycle. And it's
Yeah.
written in a fascinating way because he's trying to kind of write it from a third person perspective.
Okay.
And it was very interesting. Well, he had a show in the 90s that I watched, and it terrified the hell out of me as a graphic artist, because he was talking about visual cues that people don't realize that are triggering them and making them do things. Um, and one of the things that happened was he went into a photographer who was working in Photoshop and post-producing work on this model, and he had taken pictures of this model, and he was prepping her for a print ad to be in a magazine.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing things like, we're going to extend her legs because women grow legs after they grow or grow legs before they grow their torso. So longer legs indicate younger women. So we're going to lengthen her legs, and then we're going to dilate her pupils, and we're going to color her lips red, because those are triggers that women go through when they approach climax during sex.
Huh.
So it instantly triggers on men because they're seeing the signs of arousal. And I was
Interesting.
like, this sucks.
This
Because I was like, so, because of course all of that made it infantized the girl. So they were trying to turn her into a younger, like a teenager or a preteen, right? Which, creepy. But B, it also was obviously they were playing on men's natural reactions towards women to sell their product,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? because it made it sexier. You were more interested in this.
What's this?
But the thing is, one of the things that was interesting about this was the 90s, and he was saying, and women respond to these sexual cues too, so it works on both men and women. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting, because I was like, does that imply that women are naturally more bisexual? Which I think later on in life I found out that women tended to be more bisexual than men. Though that's not a obvious given, it's not like it's straight up. But I think the studies have shown now that people are not getting lynched for being bisexual.
I also think it's more open and acceptable for women to be that.
Yeah, it is.
It's more acceptable in a lot of ways for women to be bisexual than it is for men.
Agreed. So
yeah, my favorite one was breaking people's brains. Very heterosexual males. At the time, I was like, "Have you ever been in a threesome?" And they're like, "I'm like, you're bisexual."
Yep.
And I would be like, you're bi-curious at least, and they're just kind of like they all just like stop and think, and I'm like, "Yep."
What? Yeah.
I was like, "There you go."
But they live is actually often brought up for that very reason, as is Donald's bringing up the concept of they live, which that's the whole point of that discussion, is that person also figured out that we had that we were being. He was just, the portrayal of the movie puts it in a sort of a science fiction-y way, but that wasn't the intention. I mean, he wasn't saying that this.
Well, I know the person that you're talking about because I actually had to study him.
Yep. So anyway,
he ended up exposing industries.
Yep.
With that,
for that very reason.
For that very reason, yeah.
Yeah, because he was discovering that. He had discovered it in sort of the same way that I had, but by seeing something, or like me, I took marketing classes, and well, you want to do this and this and this because people are compelled to buy it if you make it this way. For example, little things like the 99-cent thing. People like me are horrible at math, and I fall for that all the time. $4.99.99. Oh, good. That's only $400.
Yeah, it's kind
Every
of like
time, and
it's kind of like when like Bill will sit there and go, "Oh, it's only $4." I'm like, "No, it's $5. $4.99."
Yep, exactly, and it works. It works really well. It totally works. If you look at gas station pumps, they say $1.25 and 9/10. That really means it's $1.26, because you're not going to pay 9/10 of a penny.
Right. I've done that math before. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, wait, how much of a gallon is that? I'm like, how much am I actually paying for the gallon? Hold on.
Right. Exactly. And it's a game that they all play because it works.
Yep. It does.
We get all of these stupid things that work. Fear works really well. If I tell you, Colton, you have to buy this in the next 5 minutes, or it will go back up in price and you will never get this sale again.
Oh, that's cool. What are you selling me?
Yeah. So, wait, what is it? I need to know.
Here's something that I think that you guys like. It's on the same line.
It's not even fear. I mean, that one's not even fear. It's sense of urgency.
Yeah, but that plays on the fear function.
True.
Okay, so we're talking about this, and as much as I love Bill, and you guys love him too,
we love.
I'm going to tell you what we had a discussion on yesterday.
You're going to tell on Bill?
I'm going to tell you what he found extremely, extremely hysterical. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're coming out of Target, and we noticed while we were in Target, there was a woman that was trying to get a booster.
What kind of booster?
One of the COVID boosters.
Okay, so
Okay.
booster shot. Got it.
Not
Yeah.
not a booster car or
I'm thinking like a booster seat. And I was
booster
like,
seat.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
making. I just
was.
want to clarify first that I'm on the right page.
Right.
Yeah, so she was trying to get a booster shot for COVID-19.
Okay.
And Bill basically makes the casual remark, what would have happened to people if COVID-19 was spread through farting?
Through what?
Farting.
Through farting,
Huh.
right? And I'm just like, okay, where's this going, right? And so we're talking, and I get to a point where I'm just like, okay, we need to stop talking about this. It's getting ridiculous. Because he talked about on how the he was talking about on how the cure for this type of disease would be for us to be given an enema.
You let the source explain it.
Yes, please explain it.
I like how Bill comes. He's like, hey, let me tell my story.
From Bill.
Hello, Bill.
Hello.
We were just saying, by the way, preface this with "We love you," just so you know.
Yes. So I was like, what if COVID? What if not COVID? What I said. I said I can't wait for the pandemic that happens where the plague spreads by farts.
Right.
I said so. Now we'll have to wear diapers, right, to filter the farts.
Oh, as opposed to masks. I catch now.
And then I said, you know what? And then what we'll have to do is they'll find out that not the cure for it, but the way to handle it is you have to give people enemas. But you won't go to your doctor for it. You'll go to like the Target pharmacy where they'll proceed to give you an enema.
That's funny.
Then he talks about having to go to the pharmacy and then publicly being given an enema by the pharmacist.
So I was
Can I use
making,
my friend? That'd be funny.
I was
Can't you at least give me wine for this?
I was using what's the there's two kinds of comedy that when you make
Ironic comedy.
not ironic.
Dark?
No.
Slapstick.
Doric comedy.
It sounds
Or
like
is it Corinthian comedy?
Well,
Okay, that's a joke. There's an art joke.
I was taking the past pandemic, which is, I guess it's not really over, so the current pandemic, if you will. And I was looking at it through a lens that if you were to look at it this way, is anything about how everything has gone down to date somewhat comical or absurd in its form?
Right.
And so when you look at it through the lens, okay, if it was spread by farts and we all had to wear diapers to filter our farts, and then you had to go to, your local Walgreens to get your enema instead of your doctor, I mean, there is certainly a way to view everything that's happened so far as perhaps some of the things that have happened were absurd and worth review.
Lots of things were absurd. There's certainly nothing wrong with absurdity for the humor value on this. No disagreement there. I think probably
a satirical view. That's the word.
That's it.
But then,
satire. Yeah.
Bill,
satire.
Then, Bill, please explain on where your direction went when after that, when we were talking, because it kind of took a detour, slightly.
You trying to get Bill in trouble? Is that what's going on?
I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm just like,
I don't know where you're talking.
Pepper just wants to finish off the full story. Apparently.
Which part?
Basically, on how whatchamacallit, you were talking about that, and you were basically like, how would people react to the fact that they would have to get an enema publicly, like being given an enema?
Well, no, that's what I said. I said you'd have to go to your Walgreens or your Target instead of your doctor for an enema.
Yes, and all the people.
Certainly, they'd have a little section cordon off with a little curtain like they did for the vaccination, right?
Yeah.
So everything would be fine. People would accept it just as the way they accepted it now. It's like, of course, you're supposed to get an enema, and it's supposed to be like that.
Pull down your pants.
Yeah, I mean that's the satirical part of it, right? When you view it through that lens, that there is a level of ridiculousness, a level of unacceptability that we find. But why that, right? Why was it okay to do this, but not this? In theory, an enema is, it's very temporary. There's no like permanent worries about that. You know, that is technically less concerning than people had concerns about vaccination. But that was okay. But I could see in a future where people had to go get an enema that would be like a hard stop. That's the satirical part of it. That's what's funny.
I see what you're saying.
Even if it saves my life, I'm not getting a finger up the butt.
Right? You
I
will
find
not
that-
stick
that
your
would
nose
be-
up my butt.
That would be part of the
Hard
humor for me. In that thought process, that's the humor for me, is there would be a whole bunch of people who are like, no, you're not sticking your finger up my butt. I'm going to die.
Right?
I'm like, yep.
Right? Like,
And then it's going to be the
All
people
right.
in their 40s going, all right, I guess we're doing this early.
Yeah. Not any different. I do this at the doctor all the time.
Well, it's not just a finger, right? An enema is like they actually
Yeah.
put a hose
I-
up there and put liquid up there to wash it out.
I get
It's a
it.
full
I'm
fist.
just
It's not a
we're
finger.
saying we're already used to this to some degree. After you get to a certain age, they keep sticking stuff up there anyway.
Right? I mean, and that's something we have to go through as in humanity. But you go to your doctor for that,
Yep.
and people still don't like it, and people still refuse to even do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, can you imagine satirically if that were the case for having to deal with a pandemic?
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I actually, when you say it that way, I actually completely agree.
Mhm.
Because I mean, like, yeah, I mean that you're right. There'd be people who'd be like, nope, you're not doing that. You're not giving me an emina, and then they all die, and you're like, thanks, and kill everybody else in the process. My right to kill everybody in the process. So yeah.
Anyways, that's the story.
That'd be
I'll go back to my work now.
I still like the I still
like
like
it.
the
I like it.
commentary that was made somewhere along the line. It said, I never understood how zombie hordes would ever have occurred. Then this happened. And now I understand exactly how zombies occur.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go back to work.
Never
Karen.
trust
We're not
anyone.
talking to you.
Thank you, Bill.
thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that meme was definitely like the most realist thing I saw during that whole time. I was like, yep,
Yep.
saw that one coming.
Yep.
Sorry for making it uncomfortable if I did.
Totally made me no, you didn't make me uncomfortable. I like
About enemas?
was gonna say.
No. Enemas are quite natural when you become a certain age.
I was gonna say this is like normal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ugh. It's like I go to the doctor and I'm like, okay, well, buy me
You're not my
dinner
husband, but this is okay.
first. Buy me dinner first, please.
right? That's the joke you have to make. Is like, can we buy dinner first?
Yeah.
Can you please pull my hair while you do this time? Thank you.
Can you call me dirty?
Call me dirty. Nothing else, just dirty.
Just dirty. Dirty. Dirty, dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Okay, that got weird. Really quick.
Oh, ding dong.
Got remarkably weird fast. I don't know.
That involves more than little
Yep.
finger.
Sounds like a normal conversation with me.
Right, right.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Remarkably weird is a thing. It's a
Yeah.
real thing. Happens in the show a lot.
And the sad thing is like my actual doctor, my healthcare provider doctor, is Japanese. So many jokes with me. So many jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to Japanese media.
All right. I feel like I've done pretty good on this. I feel like it's pretty decent. What do we think, guys? We think we're good? Think Grogu's balanced
Come on,
now?
zoom in
Are
again.
you?
Can you zoom in?
Can you? Yeah.
Bring up that screen better. I don't know.
Maybe. Let me see. Oh, I know what to do. This. Let's do this. No, let's not do that. That didn't work. Hang on. I got it. There we go.
So the trail looks weird for me.
It doesn't look like a trail.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
What if you change the color? Because also, I think you're trying to go for fire.
Mm-hmm. Or
are you trying to go for fire?
Yeah, I mean, just a swoosh. Is it the angle of the trail, or is it
the visibility of the trail?
Yeah.
You don't like the tail end of it shouldn't be so thick.
Spiky.
Oh, well, what if we were to do something like...
What if you took away the lines?
Yeah, like
Maybe.
the lines probably don't help. The hard line
erase the
element
lines.
doesn't help.
What if I do something
kind of
like
that?
I would do
Actually,
it a little bit
you're onto
more.
you're onto a good thing, but see if you get rid of the black lines.
That could be harder, but
Yeah.
Is that not on one
but
layer?
Also,
it's now on one layer because I made a mistake, but that's all right.
Oh.
Like make it.
Well, you
just,
could do it
kind
that
of,
way.
like,
So,
more
like,
grand-
Guy, what you were just doing there?
Yeah,
So,
like that,
this.
that's good.
Guy, what you could do also, if you
And
wanted
Donald,
to.
yes, you have a really good point. Make it blue.
Blue. Okay.
Hey, Guy, you could also do it that way too. See?
Where are you? You
where
went
my
to
thing go?
CMC. It says CMC. You're a CMC machine now.
What happened?
I don't know.
That's weird. There we go. See how the slices are in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can do it
But
slices
something kinda
instead
go
of that. Instead of trying to do it
through
in
it. Like this kind of thing.
yeah, gives it a little bit kind of like a break and yeah, like that.
Give it
You
a
can do it
certain
that
amount of
way a
outline.
little bit. That might help out a little bit.
Like that, I think. Maybe.
Zoom out.
Okay. Oh, I've moved him. He got moved. Let's move him back on. There we go. Here, let's put a white background on there so that we can actually see what he's looking like instead of... Maybe that outrun needs to be level. It needs to be level. I know, whatever.
Keep moving him.
Oh, for crying out loud. There you go. So maybe it needs to be...
Is this going to be a
vertical
postcard?
across this. It's going to be a cell.
It's what?
It's going to be a cell.
Oh.
Have you not seen what I've been working on?
I've seen your cells.
I can show you real quick.
You showed me some of your cells at
What's it? Yeah.
RMC. AnimeCon.
Right?
Nice.
So
what's on the other side?
Just paint.
Oh. I thought you were doing a double side. Like,
No.
This is his back side. Here's his front side.
No. This is Stitch versus Pikachu,
Nice.
which is Stitch's over here. But it's 3 layers. And on the cell, right? Got like Stitch on one layer and the background on another layer. So you've got then you layer Stitch on it, and then you layer Pikachu on it.
What's up, Bill?
Now I just think you moved on from the topic.
Bill thought of something comical. You want to hear it?
Always.
Give it to me.
No, it was
Suck
on the
it to
same
me.
topic. It was on the same topic, but if you've moved on, I don't want to redredge it.
I don't know.
I said, give it to me.
You suck it to me.
So, on that same topic I was talking about, you'd also have to carry around a card showing if your butt has been flushed recently.
Right.
That would be funny.
The butt flush card.
Yep. There's a lot
Or
of
if you're trying to get in like certain places and they're like, have you cleaned
We
your
need
ass?
to know whether
today,
your
sir?
butt's flushed.
I'm sorry, sir, you can't eat here.
Your butt
Your
has
butt
not been
hasn't
flushed enough.
recently enough.
Hey guy, I'd make them smaller.
All of them
I
smaller?
wouldn't go that big of a white line.
Well, let's see here.
All
Let's
right.
zoom
So
out.
that thick of a line that you have there, I think it's interfering with the because you already have two thick ones that are pointing out.
Right,
I would just do them very thin.
very thin. Okay.
Like I
Very,
would
very
just go with an eraser and go in a diagonal.
Well, I was going to go
Not
in
a
diagonal.
horizontal.
I was going to go in a diagonal too, but I'll try blue fire in a second, Donald.
The only reason I say that is because it's words
Here.
perspective, directional.
I'm going to have to first do this number, which kind of sucks, but since it flattened out, there's nothing I can do about it. So we'll just do this real quick.
So we'll go this.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying on the diagonal. On that, I did the diagonal and it looked weird, so I was kind of doing the.
Oh, by the way, did you want to know how I got that painterly look? I could teach you right now in 2 seconds.
The painterly look that you were doing. Well, we aren't in a painterly.
Well, I was gonna say because I saw you have the brush that you could use it for.
Oh. Yes. What brush were you using?
There's a skin brush I saw you have.
Yes. Did you get it from Wallop?
Nope.
Oh.
I got it from my teacher.
Oh, which probably got it.
I don't know if it's the same brush, but it's definitely that close to the same kind of a brush.
It might be from the same guy. The teachers usually follow Wallop and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Okay, let's change the color.
It's just color picking. That's all you're doing. Because you have that, then you have another one going here, another one going here.
And that actually helps get rid of the line, sort of. Because you were saying get rid of the line.
Yeah, so here, hold on. Why is it doing that? Stop it. There we go.
It hates you.
All right, we're just going to black out this whole thing.
Yeah,
And you'll
but
come in
blue
with
is
a
better.
lighter color
Blue
at
is
the
a whole
top
lot
because you
better, I
want
agree.
to show that perspective. Cool.
A lunch money playing card. God, lunch money. I swear.
So all you're doing is literally this guy.
Mhm.
See, watch. So like you'll grab this one, do a line, grab it again, do a line, grab it again, do another line. Just blending. It gives you that those painter stroke looks. But what I was talking about for erasing, let's just do
Let's
that.
go across. Go in perspective. I know.
Oh yeah, just doing more perspective for it. Why aren't you doing what I want you to?
I was going to do perspective, but then here. Okay, so take a look at what we've got whenever I do the perspective sides on this. So going across like this, let's say. I don't know.
That's not an eraser brush. That's why. But I was thinking like this. See how it's like they're smaller.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you that.
Because that wouldn't be bad. I mean, I just was looking at sort of this kind of setup too.
No, I like the blue. The blue helps.
Yeah, the blue does help. But like these lines going this way
Mm-hmm.
felt kind of, I don't know, like
A
I don't know
racetrack.
whether they're better going graphically, like a 1980s sort of thing by going this way.
By going straight across.
Yeah, going straight across because it gives it an outrun feel.
It kind of flattens it though.
It does flatten it, and I'm just going to take a look real quick and see whether we like it or not. We may not like it.
That's kind of why I was saying it. It just flattens it.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna see what happens. It's only 4 cuts here.
Shark fin. Shark bait. Ooh, aha.
But see, that kind of gives it an outrun effect. That's not bad. I don't know. It flattens it, but it's in the way of travel of the vehicle. Because the vehicle is flat coming at us. But the vehicle isn't quite. I don't know. I think you're right, Colton. vehicle.
I'm just saying that's kind of what I was. I thought it flattened it too much.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the idea that he's.
Yeah.
If we did something more like this. That's better. I think you're right. I think you're right there, Colton. What I probably should do is just put white lines like so. I'm not liking that at all. And maybe Colton's idea of just doing this with a brush, not such a bad idea.
It'll give it more of a natural look, more than a
Yeah, I think it needs to be natural.
geometrical, I guess is a good word to say it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mechanical look. Yeah, there we go.
Yellow sparkles and blue fire. Maybe.
Ooh, yeah, you can add like a little bit of burst on the sides.
Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly we could go into my Willop brushes, and I know I've got a snow brush. This is down here.
I still haven't figured out how to import my Photoshop brushes into Clip. I looked it up and I'm like, that looks like a headache.
It really wasn't. It just loads ABR files.
Really?
Yeah.
I was trying it and it wasn't doing it. I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. And I'm like, I'll do this another day when I actually care more.
Right? That's important. Somewhere he's written snow.
But I don't know. One of my teachers, he just has a whole bunch of brushes that I finally. So that materials class, I think I showed you that. In that materials class, like I finally understood his brush set. And I was like, okay, I never understood it at first, but then finally I was like, oh, I understand now. I get what what he does here. Which makes my life so much easier now. But there's also still a lot of things I got to do in that I'm still learning. But I'm finally on spring break.
Oh, my kid just stopped having spring break.
Yeah, we're always a week behind everybody. I'll think it's also because we like start like a week or two after everybody too, like all main colleges. I think they do that for a reason. I don't know. Yeah, like all of our breaks are after everybody's. All of our breaks start differently. It's weird.
There we go.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. That way you can't be lulled into a false sense of security.
Probably. Or we just don't mingle with any of the other schools. That's probably why.
Yeah, don't mingle, man. There will be no mingling in this dojo.
In this dojo.
Mingling does not exist. And this dojo does it. No, sensei.
Those are the rules, kids. Those are the rules.
I can make yellow dots. but that's about it. I don't know. That might be weird.
Also, never mind. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Also, never mind. Yeah, I don't know if I like the idea of the fire. I don't think I can make the sparkles work. That's all right.
In a shell shading way, I'm not sure. It's just going to look like paint splatter.
Yeah, it'll look like I messed up.
So for the cell shading, are you just doing it all in digital so you get a good idea of it before you start it?
No, I'm cheating, dude. I am totally cheating. It's like everything I do. I cheat, which is one of the reasons why I have such horrible like imposter syndrome. No, I print this out on a transparency exactly as it sits.
Oh.
And then all you have to do is just paint white on the background. And then, which is why I'm actually looking for other things to do with it. Which is fun. Right?
I was just curious because it looked like a postcard that you were making, like a little postcard, or you can even make it into a sticker if you really wanted it.
It works for other things.
Mm-hmm.
He was having issues, so I apologize. But now
No,
I'm done
it's
there.
just me or is Guy being abducted?
He's being abducted.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me? You guys,
I can hear you. You're kind of
I
robot-y.
can hear you, but it's one of those things of like it's really like it's not a tumor.
Okay. So yeah, the long and the short of it is that I can do this format, and it works really well. And I just need to print it out, and it works. There are some tricks to it, so it's not as easy as that. And I had to learn the hard way on some things, like how the transparency has to be paint on and things like that. There are a couple of tricks, but for the most part, what I'm doing is just a straight up cell like this, which works really well. But the way that this is so cool is I can do commissions that are cells. So that's what I'm going to do at the convention is offer commissions. And then if the commissions work, you know, I can, if you come to me on Saturday, I can have the commissions done by Sunday.
Are you driving back and forth?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You do realize that I've offered you a hotel style bed, right?
Yep. And you do realize that just like Bill, I can't sleep in other people's beds.
No one sleeps in it. It's a guest bed.
Right? Exactly. We all stay awake instead of sleeping in it.
Okay.
True artist way.
You're like, wait, how did you go there? How did you do that? Says Pepper. I will take you up on it if I'm too tired or whatever. But really, the dealer's room is open until 6. So Saturday night we'd be like out at 6 anyway. So it'd be kind of like, well, I'd still be awake and able to come
Is it
home.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or is it just Saturday, Sunday?
Just Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So anyway, yes, I will take you up on it if I am excessively tired. There's no reason to die on the way home because of that.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. And thank
All
you.
I ask.
So All right. I think we've done pretty good on this. This guy looks cute and kind of disgustingly cute sort of way. And he doesn't look weird. He doesn't look strange. Okay.
Oh, it's getting close to 11 o'clock.
It is. We've got 20 minutes left, and I've managed to do just this. That's all right.
Well, no, I just realized like I think I'm starting to get hungry.
I am getting hungry.
Yeah.
All right. Duplicate layer. Put that under there. I don't know. He should be like a purple or something. Because this is a Disney-esque thing, and Disney-esque things should be purple. Besides, what my kids into nowadays is purple. So I think it's cool. And that's an important thing. Yeah, the whole way that I. What do you mean beep 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 beep? What was that?
That was me.
Oh,
I'm doing file transfers.
it just sounded like it
Um,
came from my Alexa, and I was like, "What the heck?"
No, I'm doing file transfers from my iPad to my
Main computer.
main computer. Yeah.
That's all right. It sounded a whole lot like it was coming from behind me. I was like, "The heck?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that noise is. Okay.
I got a crow
I'm
outside.
putting things in trash can right now, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just like, okay. It sounded like someone was like making a noise with their mouth. I was like, what?
It was me. No, I'm just kidding. Right? How do we troll Pepper some more? Let's troll Pepper some more.
That'll be Sunday
Yeah, right.
for me.
I mean,
You coming up to Wicked West on
I'm
Sunday?
gonna try on Sunday. It depends on what time I get up.
Sweet.
Since I haven't seen Pepper in forever.
I haven't seen you in forever too. Are we gonna run in each other's arms in slow motion like on the beach?
We can.
Sweet.
You want to?
Can I film that? Put it on the internet?
Well, you're gonna be in the table next to us, so yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, there is sort of a thing.
Actually, I do.
Diamond coin. Near. Shiranai. I don't know why it's stuck in my head. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Boop, boop, beep, beep. Boop, boop, beep, beep. I mean, I'm just can't help myself. I'm completely compulsive here.
It's all good. It's the bird.
Yeah,
Bird is the
you
word.
hear him?
Yeah, dude, that bird's loud.
Yeah, he's just outside the window, just like cawing away. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's all into this. Whatever it is he's into, he's seriously into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny how the majority of the things that happen on my show are nature sounds from my side. It's like we have that dog, he barks from time to time. It's always something.
My friend, we were drawing together one night, and he had a bird that was outside his window, and I was like, do you have birds in your house? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't hear that? He's like, oh my God. Like, he started freaking out. He's like, I can't believe you can hear that. I'm like, yep, they're there.
Yeah, like we just assume that you guys can't hear it. The bird's outside, and my doors are closed still because it's still pretty cool. So I'm like, I can't imagine you guys can hear it, but then every so often you guys also hear that dog barking. So, that's a thing. All right. I feel like we can make this guy one unit. And we have two cells. We got this one and this one. I feel like that's acceptable. That would make a good cell. Somebody would. Do we agree?
And we got a block out. Done.
I agree. I agree. I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but I agree.
You're going to agree to it right away.
Yes.
Him a little bit. So he's kind of zipping in here. Okay. I also feel like you guys might be right that this guy needs to just stay.
Oh, it was last Thursday. I remember now. No, yeah, so it was last Thursday because I decided to just call out of work because we had midterms, and I was like, nope, fuck this, not going in.
We had a what?
Midterms last week.
Oh yeah.
So I called out. I called out of work on Thursday just so I could focus on that for a minute.
Makes sense.
Since we lost the day, it's a loss today because everything had to be turned in Saturday. Instead of Sunday. But I was sitting here, I had my window open because it was like super nice out, and like we were sitting there talking, and I was like, holy crap, it is loud during the day here. This is crazy because I kept hearing like all the cars and everything. I was like, geez.
Yeah.
And then that's when we were talking, and there was a bird that we could hear outside his window, and we were all talking about that. So.
Okay. I feel kind of good about it. Wonder whether I shouldn't make a little vapor trail around the asteroid, make it sort of something similar to what you were just talking about with the other thing, but I can do easier with this guy because I don't have to race him at this point and then do that on a different layer. But when I hit first, let's do a vapor trail out. Colton got it. I got a new Surface. It's the Surface Go 3.
How is it?
I love it. With the pen, man, it's serious. It's like I actually kind of feeling like it's a little better than maybe this tablet. So like my monitor here that I'm using.
Which monitor do you have?
I have XP Pen 22E.
Oh, the XP pen. I thought the XP pens were really good though.
They're not bad. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like it's bad. It's not bad at all.
I'm still on Wacom. That's why I was always kind of curious.
Yeah. So the best part about putting something like this on here is that I don't paint these, so they'll be transparent. You'll be able to see his fingers through it because it'll look more like this than it will anything else.
Oh, put it behind it.
Yeah, because I'll put this in front of it like this, but when it prints, this will still be translucent because I won't paint. I won't put the white paint behind it. I'll only put the white paint in the asteroid. Right. So there we go. And it doesn't have to be green. I just made it green because purple is offset by green. Let's see.
We all know the reason. You like purple.
I like purple. Maybe blue? Maybe blue? Maybe blue. I don't know.
I was talking to the people that I work with on a regular basis, and I said my only problem with this new event coming up that I have to do this weekend is going to be if fans of the thing that we work on together come up and expect me to do what I normally do when I'm at events for the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been instructed not to do that. Which may or may not go over well.
I could see that.
Oh, did you hear about? Do you guys follow GDC at all?
GDC, no.
Global Game. It's the game dev convention.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they held it this year finally in person, and they had a major breakout.
Oh no.
What? COVID?
Yeah.
It's because masks have been lifted and stuff like that. So. Yeah, actually, we're kind of worried about that too because they've lifted the mask requirements at schools. And so I have managed to go this entire time without catching COVID. And I've had a couple of close calls, but managed to stay away from it for the most part. And so I mean, I'm not worried about dying anymore. I'm just worried about being completely incapacitated for like a week and a half. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
the part I was. I was out for like a week. It sucked.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like that's what I'm mostly worried about. I'm no longer worried as much about, dying, which is good.
The dying part now, but like it doesn't. It will stop. It halted me for at least almost 3 days from doing anything.
Yeah, and I don't have the time right now to deal with 2 or 3 days of not doing anything because people have to have their freedoms, So it's aggravating to me. So luckily, I have insurance now. When this first started, I didn't have insurance. And so there was even double whammies on that one because couldn't go to the doctor, not without spending $150 just to walk in the door. So
Oh, I mean, without insurance, they actually do. So during this whole COVID scenario, because of the insurance thing, they actually implemented a thing for people that are non-insured,
yeah,
and they've actually it's not as expensive, but it can add up if you do it in a certain way. But
right. I'm sure it's it was worse whenever there wasn't a vaccine, because then it was always a concern that I'd end up in the hospital because I've got a lot of the comorbidities. So yeah,
I
I
will
was
be
worried I'd
honest
be
with you though, Guy. I have family members in the medical field, and the people who actually straight up do have like the the more tendency of passing away is usually much larger. Like if you're overweight, much
yeah,
larger than you and I,
yeah,
like
yeah,
by like 50 to 100 pounds over you
right.
and I. Um, the
I
other
think
things, it's like it's other health complications that seem to actually kind of
right. My biggest concern
work.
really wasn't that. My biggest concern is I'd end up in the hospital and then live, because that was the well, here's your bill for $2 million. What's your payment plan? So that was really what I was. If I had died,
Yeah,
at least then nobody would have. I would have. I mean, I hate to say this, but dying is actually the best possible way to deal with it in our system right now.
actually, not so much.
not so
The
much.
They
They go after
medical
your
debt
family.
would have gone to your wife and kid.
they can't do that though. That's sins of the father.
Unfortunately, they do.
That's
Oh,
not how our system works. It's
nice.
like debt. If you ever die and you have debt, it goes to your next of kin.
That can't possibly be true,
No, it is.
because my dad had debt and it didn't go to me. It didn't go to
Well,
Jane.
the thing is wait. Before you go any further, did you get a death certificate to send to these companies?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so you sent a debt. You sent a debtor a that your father had accrued when he was alive.
Hmm.
Notice that he was dead. That is why you weren't stuck with the bill.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Had you not done that and you kept everything and try to make it look like he was still alive, which is identity theft, then yes, you would have had to do it.
Most people don't do
But
that though.
most people don't do that.
I was going to say, sadly, this is my second parent,
Yeah,
so I'm actually already used to the process here. I lost mom. That was the hardest one because we didn't know, and I was 29 years old, and what did I know from losing a parent, and you know, stuff like
yeah,
that. But now, I mean, dad, I'm 49 years old. My dad lived 20 years longer than my mom, but which, by the way, my dad lived 20 years longer than my mom because he was a vet and had VA insurance. And so when he started feeling sick, he went to the doctor, where my mom did not have any insurance. So when she started feeling sick, she just stayed home and hoped she got better, which she didn't. So, there's that. I'm bitter and angry about our system, by the way. I know you guys can't tell.
I think we're
no,
all angry at our system.
Yeah, the system sucks. So anyway, bitter and angry about it because I feel like my mom would still be around today if she didn't gamble, because she needed a surgery. She had rheumatic fever when she was 5, and it damaged one of her heart valves. But it required open heart surgery, which was like stupid expensive. And so
yeah,
instead of doing the surgery, which would have saved her, she instead took the risk that nothing ever would go bad with her and nothing bad would happen. Well, that didn't go over well. So anyway, sorry. I
that's
I
fine.
will rant. This is my rant mostly because my mom never got to see my kid, never got to, she died when I was 29, and that was still pretty young. My sister was freaking 26, you know. So it's been sort of a thing. And I feel like it kind of traumatized us, both my sister and me, in a lot of ways, because we were just too young. Like my dad passing was sad. And I miss my dad every day because he was a good guy and he was part of my life and very, very, and it's weird getting up in the morning and thinking I can't just call him and all of that strange stuff. That's pretty normal. I feel
Yep.
like losing my mom has made me freak out about things that are weird. Like, like
Well,
my
it's kind of like what you're describing is kind of like what my mom described. Being an orphaned adult is weird.
it is weird. It is
It
weird.
Being
is
a what?
weird.
Orphaned
Being
adult.
an orphaned adult is super weird in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because it's not like you need your parents. You don't. You can live just fine. But they're not there anymore. It's like
Right.
Yeah,
really strange and it doesn't feel right. And it feels like something's missing and there's like holes in your world. And you know what I mean? Your
yeah,
mom's right. I mean, your mom's right. There's something very
yeah.
strange about being in an
It's
orphan.
super. Well, and the thing is like what you're describing is pretty much like what like me and my siblings, we would go to our we would go to my mom's mother for a lot of things when we were teenagers and like in our early 20s.
Yeah,
And so what a lot of what you're describing is pretty much what me and my siblings actually went through when we lost her, because we she was a third parent to us.
yeah,
So it was like, so when she passed, like it hit us all pretty hard.
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and then when my grandfather passed, that one wasn't as hard hitting for me because I was expecting it, but it was my grandmother's. Like that was a big impact. That was like a really big. And honestly, like I don't think I would have gotten married in my first marriage if she had stayed alive.
Yeah. Red or
I
blue? Thank you.
so
I agree. I mean, it's a thing. I mean, but it also, like, my wife and I have been talking a lot about this. I just decided to join back up with the driving school, so I'm back in the driving school again, and
mhm.
I'm going to be teaching classes, and I've been kind of bothered by it, and it's why are you bothered by it? And I'm like, well, because I'm now going to be. I mean, like this show is going to be hard to do. I'll be working from 9 to 5 for 2 weeks on and then 2 weeks off. Um, so I'm going to
We
have to
just have
decide
to we just have to
time.
change the time.
Yeah,
We have to,
that's
that's
what we were.
fine.
That's what we were saying is we'll just change the time. But the she was like, well, what's your real problem? Because you're really stressing out a little over this. And I said, part of the problem is that no matter which way you look at it, I feel like I'm back to, well, I don't have the time for my comic now. So I'm just going to have to put off my comic until next year or next year or next year or next year. And I'm running out of next years, you know,
Yeah,
and I'm 50. And if I don't get started, there's like 6 or 7 years worth of work on this comic that's got to be done.
Mhm.
And I'm going to run out of the ability to have a decade to put this comic together. And I really don't want to die with a comic sitting in my head. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's a real pressure cooker thingy for me because it bothers me. It's like I really want to put this thing together and have it out there so when I die, there will be something left of me, you know?
right.
So I'm real stressed out about that. But that's also a thing that came about from losing my mom at 57. She was 57 years old. That's 7 years from now, you know?
Yeah,
Now, the odds of me dying at the same time as my mom are actually kind of slim. I'm likely going to live as long as my dad did. My dad lived to 78.
I
That's
mean,
that's a decent age. Um, you know,
I I'll be honest. I hope to live to the age that my one of my great grandfathers did, and my great grandmothers. Like both of them, one was almost 100, and the other one, no, both of them were almost 100 before they passed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and that-
If I live to be 90, 92, I have to live to be 92. Then it'll be first contact day. I'll get to see the Vulcans. Just saying. I'm just saying.
well, that's if Vulcans exist.
Hey, you can't say that they don't exist,
They're Schrodinger's cat at the moment.
right?
They exist, but they also do not exist at the same time.
Right? Exactly. At the same time.
All right. I gotta take off and go to.
You're like,
go to
I'm
work.
out. I'm out.
They're getting into the Star Trek. I need to leave.
I need to get
Yeah.
out of
I'm
here.
gonna-
No more Star
I'm gonna
Trek.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go eat lunch, so because I'm hungry. So I'll go eat lunch. You go do that, and we'll do this, and I'll get to Scotland before you. Thanks for your
Scotland.
help, Colton. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome anytime.
That was a song from a long, long time ago. I don't know. I say things. I don't know. It's a thing. Anyway,
But
thank
awesome.
you, Donald, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Donald.
And it was good to see you. And I don't know where Brent was, but I miss him. So there's that. And thanks for the help, guys. And I will see you all later. And for everybody else, remember to keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye. Computer, good night.